Hi everyone. So I'm going to go over this first example with you, and then the next example you will do on your own and type in the solution into the Edpuzzle. So we are solving a system of nonlinear inequalities. We have a first one, which is a quadratic, and then we have a second one, which is our linear. From here, remember, you're always going to look and see, are both of your equations y equal? Because you need them to be y equal in order to set them equal to each other. And in this case, we don't need to do any extra steps because both of these are y equals equations. Because they're both y equals, that means we can go ahead and set these two equations equal to each other. So we can say that negative 3x squared plus x plus 2 is equal to x plus 4. Now remember, from here, our goal is to just create one equation that is parabolic and equal to 0, so that way we can go ahead and solve using the quadratic formula. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and if we want to move this x value over to the left-hand side, because remember, you do want to move the terms over to whichever side has the x squared, okay, for the quadratic. So that means that we're going to go ahead and we're going to move this x over to the left as well as the 4. In order to do that, we're going to go ahead and use the opposite operation. So we are going to subtract x and subtract 4. I'm just showing that we're doing that to both sides of the equation, keeping it balanced, and that gives us negative 3x squared plus, now these x's actually cancel each other out, but I'm just going to show how it's 0x to make it so that we just remember what the value of b is when we're using the formula, minus 2, because 2 minus 4 is negative 2 equals 0. Because on this right-hand side, we have it where the x's cancels each other out because they're opposite operations, and then the 4 and the negative 4 cancel each other out. From there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to just use the quadratic formula. So first, I'm just going to identify my a, my b, and my c in this equation. My a is negative 3, my b is 0, and my c is negative 2. Pay close attention to the fact that this was minus 2, so that means our c is negative 2. And from there, we're just going to go ahead and use our equation of the quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, and then using that formula, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug in my values. I have negative 0 plus or minus the square root of 0 squared minus 4 times a is negative 3, and then c is negative 2, all over 2 times negative 3. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and just simplify that to 0 plus or minus the square root of 0 minus 24 all over negative 6. And that's going to give us 0 plus or minus the square root of negative 24 over negative 6. Now, because our radicand value is a negative number, that tells us that there is no real solution to this problem. Meaning that if we were to graph this quadratic here and then graph this line here, the quadratic and the line would never touch or intersect one another. So we have no real solution. Okay. Our solutions are, if they were to touch, maybe they touch once, you have one real solution and you would list the point. Maybe they touch twice. If they touch twice, list both the points and you have two real solutions. But in this case, they are not going to touch, and we know that because the radicanons that are radical is a negative value. So for this problem, we are done. I'm going to go ahead and clear out the work. And go ahead and try this problem on your own and state your solution or solutions on the Edpuzzle.